It'll be great. Just you, me, Pearl, and don't forget Mom.
Huh?
You awkward piece of shit. I mean, greetings. Today's episode is a musical. I can't sing, so this might not be doable. Today's episode is Mr. Greg. I'm not even going to try singing. I'm sorry, guys. It would be great. It'd be fun, but nope. Not happening. Greg and Steven sing about what to do with the money that Greg received from singing this awesome hamburger song that was actually one of his other songs, but it's a hamburger song now. And they decide to go to Empire City for a vacation with Pearl. Greg spends so much money on getting an awesome room, suits, pizzas, and songs. But it turns out it was all a ploy by the evil mastermind formerly known as Starchild Jr., Steven. Steven attempts to mend the damaged relationship between Greg and Rose by putting them together into a room through song. Pearl and Greg are able to become friends through their mutual love of Steven and Rose, and that's the episode. Okay, to be honest, I really wanted to get right through the recap stuff because I really want to talk about the episode. This one's a very powerful and awesome one. So Greg made all of his money through a hamburger jingle, which is really weird because I always saw Greg as more of a hot dog person. I mean, didn't he have that hot dog slogan he used to say early in the show, which he never says anymore? And he kind of looks like a hot dog, which, by the way, note to self, draw Greg as a hot dog sometime. Maybe I'll watch me draw. But yeah, I mean, I just think it's kind of weird. I do think it's really funny that Pearl thinks that maybe hamburgers are the reason why Rose loves Greg, which, by the way, confirmed. Rose loves hamburgers. I like the first thing that Steven thinks of for Greg to buy with his money is a house. I mean, Greg is kind of homeless, living in his van, and Greg's now rich, so it might be time to get a house, which he apparently just really likes his van and is not interested in the house, which I find a little ridiculous, but okay, whatever. Greg, you're weird. We get Pearl in a suit, which Jelly mean... We got Pearl in a suit, and I can hear Jellyby screaming from Britain right now. She must be in heaven. I know that she's a big fan of girls in suits. She's a big fan of Pearl. Put it together. Jellyby must be really happy. If you're not familiar, I'm talking about a artist channel called Jellyby, lovely girl. She's over in Britain. I'll link I'll link her channel down below. As you all know, I love Pearl, so easily her song is my favorite of the episode. And it doesn't help that it has literally the best animation the show has ever done. So essentially, Pearl is singing about the love triangle between her, Greg, and Rose, which is a very strong element within the show. And it's really cool that this episode actually tackled that a little bit further. Because we got a little bit of it with Rose's scabbard, and we got little bits and pieces here and there, especially with the flashback episodes. But to have this finally come to a solid conclusion and move past it is very big for both the show and the characters. So that's really, really impressive. The song itself, it reminds me a lot of Sailor Moon. I love the dancing. Like I said, the animation is so fluid. That turntable of Pearl just spinning around while singing is so well animated. It's so fluid. It's something I was not expecting from the show. I mean, the show has some good animation here and there, but for the most time, it's not that fluid. So I'm really impressed with that. There's definitely a couple of frames here and there that looks a little weird with how the hair pieces mess up. But, for the most part, that's really, really solid. I love the dancing in that. It reminds me with the colors and such, a little bit of Sailor Moon. And overall, like I said, that was the highlight of the episode for me. The episodes before him were kind of so pretty good. They weren't bad songs, but they weren't really, songs that I'm going to go back and listen to. But this one, it's yes, this is what I wanted. This is the emotional fuel that I needed.
This is exactly why I brought you.
Okay, so did anyone else get the vibe that Steven went super fucking anime secret plan on us? I mean, he was super awkward in the first half of the episode, just doing these little bits and pieces. And at this point, he just kind of goes evil mastermind. It's very interesting behavior. It's very Steven, especially when you find out what his motives are about it, but it was a little jarring. So I knew it. Greg is Kira. And Pearl is L. I just thought it was really interesting, them changing into colors. Remind me a lot of Death Note. I'm making a reference to an anime. You guys don't think I watch those. But yeah, so overall, this was a fantastic milestone. And I'm all for about the musical element of it, but really, I wish we got to hear the full conversation between... The episode's a fantastic milestone, and I'm all for a musical... But I felt like this episode touched upon such important things that I guess you could argue that it was such a heavy, not necessarily dark, but very serious subject. So the music element kind of lightened it up. but at the same time, I also really want the show to take it super serious. And so, you know, I kind of wish we got to hear the full conversation between Greg and Pearl about talking about their relationship with Rose. I know we got like the Cliff Notes version enough for the song, and I just feel like this story was such an important one for Steven Universe that I would have hoped that it had a two-parter and we got to spend more time and really like air out and take it a little bit more seriously. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on the episode because I know you guys tend to go, man, he's critiquing this. That must be a negative thought. That would just be what I would have done differently if I was doing this. Not that I'm talented enough to work on a show like this, but I just wish it would have been a little bit drawn out, a little bit more awkward moments between the two, and would have had a good chunk of the episode dedicated to the two of them talking. Versus, there's a lot that happened in this episode, especially with it being a musical, and with it having like 5 or 6 songs in there, and the episode's only 11 minutes long already, it did feel, pacing-wise, a little short and really quick, and the elements were really pushed together. This is definitely one of those times where I'm like, couldn't Steven Universe please be a 22-minute long show? That would have been great, because the best episodes tend to be the two-parters, which, by the way, there is a episode coming later on that it's going to be extended to 22 minutes, which probably will air as two-parter in like reruns, but I'm super stoked about that episode. And I think it's really, really cute that Pearl was trying to bookend the episode by singing the song from the beginning, and she's not getting the lyrics, but it does show that she does pay attention to Greg and Steven, and she's, you know, she's adorable. We got some closure between Greg and Pearl, and I'm really excited to see where exactly these two are going to go within their dynamic, because this is a giant game changer for them. Hope you guys like this video, and if I missed anything, feel free to talk about it down below in the comment section. I'll be back tomorrow with another Steven Universe recap vlog. See you guys soon.